Hey guys, this is Eric Wangana with Wangana Racing. The video you're about to watch, I actually put out last night, but I deleted it this morning when I woke up to discover that it turns out Jesus wasn't the only one in the world that was perfect. It was also several of my commenters. I made a mistake in the video. I didn't expressly state this, or at least I don't think so. I implied that the 5.3 liter LS engine has a bigger bore than the 4.8 liter. It turns out they have the same bore. In all fairness, I have never built an LS engine. I have ported several LS heads, and I know it may sound shocking to you guys that how can you know anything about the heads, because the heads flow and what that is. I just haven't built one of their engines, straight up telling you. That, and I don't even build engines at all anymore. Matter of fact, the one that's being built for the truck right now, I'm not doing. I could do it, I just don't have time. There's 61 sets of heads on order. There's probably 35 out there right now. So the idea of getting to do any of that, I don't know when I'd find time. But anyway, I made a mistake in the video, and if you can look past my small error of assuming that the 5.3 had a larger bore, you might get something out of this video. The video is about an LS 706 head, about some small work and what can be gained with flow work, just to get an idea. If you can't get back that, just don't watch the video. If you can, you'll get some knowledge. For the rest of you guys, I appreciate you sticking around. I've got some more videos coming up, just because I need to get stuff off my phone. Anyway, thanks. Hey guys, this is Eric Wangana with Wangana Racing with a little short video for you guys today. This right here is a set of LS 4.8 liter or 706 casting heads. You could probably find these just about anywhere, but I wanted to show you what they flow with just a little bit of work so you can get an idea. Backstory, the customer sent these in for me because he had done most of this work. 90% of this is him, not me. So he had smoothed this up. He's also smoothed the exhaust ports. Let me show you. But really all he's done is just use a cartridge roll and smooth things up. He hasn't done any major grinding whatsoever. But he said, hey, can you change these to a 2-inch valve? Because if you get these heads, they got that real small valve. I'm not sure the exact size off the top of my head, but it's a pretty small valve. And he asked me, he's like, hey, can you cut it out to a better valve job and do a 2-inch intake valve and then just blend it in? So this part's me. And I said, sure, no problem. The rest of it's all him. So we just kind of see what gains he can made. There you can see the short side itself as well. Okay, and I flowed it after doing this work, so it's a 2-inch valve. I flowed it and just want to share the results with you because not a lot of people use this head, which honestly, maybe you should consider it. And here's what I mean. The chambers are relatively small, so there's some gains there. I think if someone was to really do some port work on these, you probably could get them up to around 290 CFM. I maybe crack 300 CFM on a 2-inch valve. And honestly, you can go a 202, but here's what I will tell you. The valve is really close to the cylinder, at least on the 4.8. On a 5.3, you'll probably have more room, so everything will be right. But it's really, really tight. You can see I did not do the exhaust valve job someone else had. You can see how it cuts into the chamber there. But anyway, the thing you want to see is what's it flow, right? So let's show you. Now, this is on a 430 bore, and I recognize that a 5.3 and a 4.8 both have a smaller bore. I don't have it. But I'm just sharing you results. If you look at 400 valve lift, it flows 234, 238 there at 5. So it doesn't really gain much between 4 and 5. And it looks like that's not very good. And you should just have a cam that stops there. But look, it keeps flowing up. It goes 251, 256, and then it starts dropping down. So you might say, why does it kind of slow down between here, then really pick up between 5 and 6? Well, it has to do with the valve shrouding. As the valve comes open more, it gets out of the way of the cylinder more, and it gets more area for it to move the air around. The biggest thing is this part's pretty much blocked off of the chamber. This part's open, so as the valve opens, now more area is here. It can flow more. That's why it makes that jump there. It's not so much the port work. So it's pretty good there. What I'm most impressed though is actually the exhaust. Now this is flowed without, same stock exhaust valve size, but this is flowed without an exhaust pipe attached. 213 at 4, which no one runs a 1-inch valve lift, sorry, 213 at 1-inch valve lift. No one runs that. It tells me how stable the port is. If you even look at, say 5, which most people would be 185 CFM really, that's pretty good. It's a really good number. Point I'm trying to make about the head is it moves quite a bit of air. For what it is, it moves quite a bit of air. I think if someone was to really grind at it, because right now the throat's only 90%. Well, guess what? The bowl is like 91. If you were to really do some grinding on this thing, I'm fairly certain you can get 90%. I mean, it's not 90%. You can get 290 as far as CFM goes. And I think you'd be pretty happy. The thing should run well. I mention this because you probably could find these heads for next to nothing. And if you look at a 243 head, those are people that have them know that they're worth something. That head ported, at least on my bench, goes between 300 to 310, somewhere in that range. Stock ones, they flow 256 stock. As you could tell, you're pretty close to, you actually are at 700 valve lift. So just with this little bit of work, you can get almost to their numbers. I will say you'll never match, you can't match their low lift numbers. So a 243 has better flow numbers here at 400 for sure. But you can get pretty close. And I mention it because you probably pick these up dirt cheap, do a bit of pork work, you're relatively close to what a 243 is, and you didn't spend 243 money. So just something to think about. And also, if you go really hog wild, you will beat a 243 unless they've been really ported. So anyway, just thought I'd share that with you. It's a nice head, does really well. But I do want to say one more thing, just to kind of save yourselves. I'm going to go ahead and warn you that this head's great and all, but I want you to understand this. I hear this on several forums that every LS head outflows this, every stock LS head outflows this stock small block Chevy stuff. Nope. This one right here in stock form, it flows about 220. So that means with the stock valve size. The stock GM Vortec heads that were on your 97 Chevy half-ton pickup 350, they flow 231. So just letting you know that out of the box, these are not better than the GM small block Chevy Vortec heads that came on their half-ton. I'm only telling you that because I don't want you to say something that's incorrect about the LS heads. And now I will say this: you can port these to flow more than any Vortec heads like the cast iron ones. And this is the bottom of the line. You step up to the 243, it's not even in the same boat. But I just want you to understand, don't say every LS head outflows every stock small block Chevy head, because that's not true. However, they have way more potential. So porting these, you'll outdo the Vortex. So anyway, thanks for sticking around and watching. Hopefully you got some information out of it. Probably gonna get a whole lot of, you hate LS's. No, I just don't want you to say the wrong thing. I actually truly think this is a really good head. You could be in this thing for, you know, a couple $100 probably, and then do your port work yourself, because this is not that hard. I promise you. Just have someone like me do a valve job. You can do all this and you'll get those results and you'll be very happy. So good head for you guys to, if you're trying to get started, you probably can find these pretty cheap. A good head to get started with. All right, thanks for sticking around. Take care.